Chapter 6. Making a Bet. Xiao Churan's statement left the entire Xiao family dumbfounded. Everyone thought that Xiao Churan must be crazy. It's not the right time to make a splash. If you make a splash at this time, what else can you do but die? The Imperial Group is the biggest company in Jinling. How can they look at the Xiao family? Whoever goes to talk about it, the result is unlikely to be successful. Xiao Heilong can't help but sneer. Churan, do you think that with you can get a contract from Imperial Group? Xiao Heilong's own sister and Xiao Churan's cousin, Xiao Weiwei, also sneered at this moment. Sister Churan, what is your status and what is the status of the Imperial Group? If you go to talk so boldly, don't disgrace our Xiao family. Someone else chimed in. That's right, at that time, in case she is kicked out by the Imperial Hao Group, our Xiao family will definitely be reduced to a laughingstock in Jinling. Xiao Churan sniffed. Her cheeks reddened immensely and she felt doubly ashamed. Since marrying Yi Chen, her status in the family had fallen, becoming less and less valued, almost on the verge of being ostracized, and even her parents had followed suit and suffered much ridicule. She felt that if she could negotiate this project with the Imperial Group, then her position within the family would definitely be consolidated. Most importantly, her parents would also be able to straighten their backs. But at this moment, being satirized in sarcasm by so many people made her heart also beat a drum of retreat. She glared at Yi Chen in depression. How could she have listened to his compulsion? If I had known, I wouldn't have come out this head. Old Mrs. Zhao was furious in her heart when she heard the words of the crowd. No one dared to take on this task after asking herself several times, and now that Xiao Churan took the initiative to come forward, this group of people started to pour cold water on it again. Although old Mrs. Zhao had never liked Xiao Churan, at this time she felt in her heart that Xiao Churan was at least willing to share her worries, unlike the others who only knew how to add to her problems. Especially her favorite grandson, Xiao Heilong, was really too much of a disappointment to herself. Because of this, old Madame Xiao's attitude towards Xiao Churan has also changed quite a bit. So she immediately said, since the others don't dare to agree, don't talk nonsense. This time, the project cooperation with Imperial Group will be given to Churan to negotiate. Xiao Churan could only reply stiffly, Grandma, don't worry, I will definitely do my best. At this moment, Xiao Long sneered with a cold snort from his nose. What's the use of going all out? It's still a disgrace to the family if you fail in the end. Yi Chen sneered and asked, Xiao Heilong, what is your purpose in singing praises of Churan like this? Do you think that the Xiao family is not qualified to cooperate with the Imperial Group? Xiao Heilong didn't expect that this waste of a man, Yi Chen, would dare to open his mouth at the family meeting, and he even gave himself a high hat right off the bat. Seeing that old Mrs. Zhao's expression was also a bit huffy, so he immediately explained, that's not what I meant. I just don't think it's possible for Xiao Churan to negotiate this cooperation. Yi Chen laughed and asked him, then what if Churan can negotiate the cooperation? Should we make a bet? Xiao Heilong sneered, come on, let's gamble. Will I be afraid of you? Tell me what's the bet. Yi Chen said, if Corin negotiates the contract, you kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times and say loudly that you are wrong in front of the whole family. If Corin can't negotiate, I will kowtow to you 3 times and say loudly that I am wrong. What do you think? Xiao Heilong immediately laughed out maniacally. You punk are really looking for death. All right, I'll bet with you. Yi Chen nodded with satisfaction and said, the whole family is here to witness this. Whoever backs out will be dead father, dead mother, dead grandfather, dead grandmother. Yi Chen intentionally said the 3 words dead grandmother particularly heavily, just for fear that this Xiao Heilong would lose and then back out again at that time. Once this word came out, Xiao Heilong absolutely didn't dare to back out, because in that case, wouldn't it be cursing his grandmother, that is, Mrs. Xiao, to die? At that time, old Madame Xiao was afraid that she wouldn't even let him go. Good. Xiao Heilong didn't know that Yi Chen was digging a hole for himself. Instead, he felt that there was no way he could lose. So he laughed loudly and said, with the whole family witnessing, I'll wait for you to kowtow to me. Chen Xiao Churan was startled and gave him a wink, but he didn't expect him to be completely oblivious. Old Lady Zhao didn't care about this kind of betting. Her only concern was whether or not she could get into the cooperation list of the Imperial Deluxe Group this time. If she could get in, not to mention letting Xiao Heilong kowtow to Ye Chen. Even if she let Xiao Heilong call Yu Chen's father, she didn't care at all. So she opened her mouth and said, "Today's meeting ends here. Churan, you have 3 days to take the contract, meeting adjourned." Back home, father-in-law and mother-in-law immediately glared at Yi Chen and Xiao Churan. Mother-in-law Mei Lane is anxious, off the cuff. "Churan, you're crazy. How can you listen to this waste of a word, Ye Chen, and agree to this errand in a confused manner?" Father-in-law Zhao Chengkun also scolded Ye Chen. Ye Chen, you're such a waste. You've harmed my daughter." Then his father-in-law said with an angry face, "If Churan can't negotiate the cooperation of Imperial Group, he will definitely be ostracized by the family. And you, a waste. We'll have to kneel and kowtow to Xiao Heilong in front of the whole family, and I won't let this old face of mine disgrace you when the time comes." Ye Chen seriously said, "Dad, Mom, as long as Churan can negotiate this contract, won't everything be solved?" Talk. Negotiate my ass." Father-in-law scolded angrily. "Do you know how strong the Imperial Group is? How could they possibly look at the Xiao family?" Ye Chen laughed. "Maybe they can look at it. I just think that Churan must have no problem and can definitely get the contract down." Mother-in-law sneered from the side. You think? You think you're the boss of the Imperial Group? You're a piece of shit, useless, and you're still talking big here."
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to give me a like. And also, don't forget to subscribe, and not just subscribe, ring the bell so that you, my friend, don't miss any other episode. Stay tuned for the next exciting chapter of The Dragon Son-in-Law.